Hello. Hi, Facebook friends. Let me turn up my volume a little bit. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. So, we're going to do a little, we're going to change things up today. It's not going to be about marketing per se. Today, what I want to talk about is how we are going to move forward in the new year. This year has brought about many challenges, right? Both personally, professionally, worldwide, locally. And with those challenges, I don't know about you, but I have had so many fears throughout this year, more than probably my entire life, from, financial fears to health fears with family. And even I've seen some sides of friends that I never knew existed. So, a lot of different challenges, right? And so I thought today would be important since we're almost, gosh, can you believe it? Just a little bit over 2 weeks away from 2021. So I felt like today was going to be an important conversation about how can we move forward and go past those fears. Because here's the thing, we have one life, we are alive, right? And it's a gift. There's so many people right now that are going through really, really, really tremendously difficult times with literally losing their lives. So let's talk about ways to move past our fear so that we can make a bigger impact on others. And as an entrepreneur, we have this gift of having an opportunity with platforms like this, with our own connections, to make a bigger impact on others. And how you impact others is going to help you combat your own fears, because you'll see that, oh my gosh, what I was thinking, a year or two ago, it made no sense. Look at the impact I'm making. So if you are new to the page, welcome. My name is Ginna. I'm also the owner and founder of Hype Media. We are a boutique social media marketing agency, and we support small businesses, small business owners, medium-sized corporations, female entrepreneurs, in elevating and defining your personal brand style, and your social media marketing strategies so that you can make a bigger impact with your business and to the right people. So with that said, all right, let's jump into this a little bit. Now, if there is something that you hear that you're like, oh my gosh, Ginna, yes, this resonates with me, I would love a hashtag wow. Okay, because that lets me know that something I said definitely hit the spot for you. And so let's talk about the year. Okay, let's start with that since we're so close to the end of the year. Now, I realized many times over and over again throughout this year especially, that there's one thing that we do have control over, and it's how we choose to react and respond to our own fears. So back in the beginning of March, I sat down with one of my friends who was at the time more of an acquaintance from a networking group, a local networking group, Jordana Foster, who's now my mindset coach. And we sat down in early March when all of this was really coming to fruition here in the US, at least in the news. And we were literally, we didn't even know, but that next week, everything shut down where we are. So when I sat down with Jordana, our conversation was that day was, getting to know each other, and how she could help me, how I could support her. And we were just simply having a conversation about the pandemic and what was going to happen. And oh my gosh, how crazy would it be if things shut down? never did we think that that would actually happen. A week later, it did. And I will tell you that I was in panic mode for a little bit because as a business owner, a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, especially if you're working with a brick and mortar, or maybe you are a brick and mortar business, you most likely had to shut down, right? So as an agency, we had a lot of business that are brick and mortars and they shut down. And so I was in panic mode. Like, what am I going to do? You know, I do help a lot with our family's income. So what was this going to look like for us? So here's what I did. I took something that I had been thinking about for years, probably at least 3 years. And with the help of another coach, Molly Mahoney, I pushed forward and I created an amazing, right now, it's a small network, intimate network of women coming together to help them move forward with their business online and how that would look like for them. So I took everything that I've been doing for my clients, especially those brick and mortars online, and I'm helping these women do it within their own businesses. I was scared. Like, who am I to be teaching this, even though it's something that as an agency we get paid to do, but who am I to teach this and mentor others on how to do? You know, even with 10 plus years of experience. And so those fears that we struggle with that are all right here, they're not the same fears or the same thoughts that others have about us. And I've learned that throughout the process of pushing forward through my fears throughout this year. So I hope that you take some time before the new year and you think about all of the challenges that you've been through, how you've been able to combat them. And if you're still dealing with challenges, because we all are, even myself, we're still dealing with challenges. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be something to be fearful of. But I believe it's a matter of how you push through that and how that looks like for you on the other side that makes such a difference. So I want to share with you some things that I shared on the Style Rebel Mama page yesterday regarding pushing through those fears and setting you up for success for 2021. And this is more about planning and getting organized for yourself so that you're ready to start the new year, kind of like hitting the refresh button. I'm sure that you're ready for that. I know that I am. And this is something that I have started to do now for a little bit, I'd say for the last couple weeks, at least the beginning part of this. So number one is make a list, and this may be a really long list. So I actually have made kind of like a spreadsheet. Make a list of what you have learned from the past year. Now, I will give you this tip from my own mindset coach. Write it down first and then transfer it over to something else if you want to type it out to be more organized. So that is something that I did. So grab a notebook, a piece of paper from your printer. That's usually what I do. And write down, what did you love about this year? What did you really feel that you missed out on about this year, like other than the obvious, right, with the pandemic, but what was really strange about this year? And I am sure that part of the list is going to be pretty lengthy. What did you really hate about this year? What have you learned about this year? So, for me, for example, I've learned that I need to, number one, celebrate my wins more and believe in myself more, not doubt myself so much. Because the worst thing that we can do is let fears and our doubts in ourselves stop us from doing something, and then we never know what would the outcome be. We just wouldn't know if we don't do it with fear, right? And then categorize these questions that you're answering into work, family, social life, home, style, because style does play a part in this, especially for us as female entrepreneurs working from home. You know, did you stay in your PJs most of the time during the week? Or did you still show up as if you were going into an office? Now, I have been working from home now for about almost 12 years now. So since Hype Media launched and Style Rebel Mama, and the very best tip that I have ever received, and I've received many, but the one that tops it is not only to have a routine in the morning, but to get dressed in the morning as if I was going into a real office. It just shows respect for you as the business owner, as the boss, right? And it also helps you be motivated. It helps you be more productive. And then the last thing when you're categorizing that list is health-wise, okay? So the next thing you want to do is, what about your daily and weekly routines? So what would you like your daily and weekly routines to look like in the new year? How would that look for you? So whatever you did this year that you didn't like in regards to your daily and weekly routine, how do you want that to look like for you next year? Okay. And it could be both mentally, physically. Maybe it's writing down gratitudes. Maybe you didn't do that this year. Writing down 3 gratitudes a day, going for a walk in the morning for 20 minutes or a run. You know, even if it's scheduling that time in, which is something that I have found that I have to continue to do like I used to before the pandemic. I had my hour 3 times a day that was for working out. Now I have found myself more often than not doing that and jumping right on my laptop. You know, of course, after my morning routine of, I still do get up and get dressed and change, but I have found out that I have made excuses for why I can push my workout later on. And then it just never happens. And I don't feel as focused. I don't feel as productive, as motivated. So that's something that's definitely going to be a non-negotiable, which it has been actually lately over the last month or so, but it's going to be a non-negotiable that I want to stick to in the new year because it makes such a difference. Number 3 is clear the mental clutter. And part of that has to do with our fear. So, you know, the other thing is your ideas, write them down. Tell them to somebody. Maybe you can have an accountability partner to keep you accountable for these things. So we have lots of amazing things coming up for the new year that we are working on, including a podcast. We're also moving a lot of our online funnels to a new platform I'm so excited about. With my Splash Marketing Collective and the Style Vibe Tribe, we are actually starting an entire membership platform. We're going to have our memberships on a different platform, not just stuck right inside of here. So just a lot of fun projects up ahead. So write those things down so that you can not only remember them, but they do declutter your minds, which is super helpful, and they help to keep you more organized. Number 4 is take a couple minutes each day to write down what your goals and your intentions are for that day. This is something that I actually started doing over the last few months with my business coach, with Molly Mahoney. It's, you know, it's part of like our, we call them star tasks, but our daily checklist in a sense. And so every day we start our day with, what is the intention for that day? Is it that you want to make more connections? Is it that you want to finish this landing page? Is it that you want to schedule your content for the next month? Write it down. When you actually write it down, it tends to actually happen more so than not. The next thing is give yourself a reset. So, you know, if you don't get to take that walk that day. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. Be flexible with yourself, but make sure to give yourself that reset that mentally you have told yourself, okay, it's okay. It's okay, Ginna. It's not the end of the world. Don't be so harsh on yourself. And I think that's also part of what, as an entrepreneur, really holds us back sometimes, is that we are very tough on ourselves, which sometimes we need to be, right? We don't have a boss. We are our own boss. We have to be accountable for ourselves, but we don't need to beat ourselves up. So give yourself a reset. Be flexible to do that. And then the last thing, which is something that I have been working on for this entire year, and I'm still working on it because I'm not that good at it, is celebrate your wins. Like, take a pause and celebrate them. Celebrate them with yourself. Be vocal about them. Post about them. It doesn't make you conceited. It's not about bragging. It's about letting other people know that, hey, you're actually getting things done and you should be proud of yourself. So, and if you want, you can hold me accountable for that one, because I definitely do not do that as much as I probably should. I know that it's helpful because you want to remember those wins too. So write them down even. That's something that Jordana is on my case about, because I tend to not write those wins down, and I just move on to the next thing. But it's really, really important. I know that it is for myself. So I'm sure for you, it will be as well. So if you want to start 2021 with a reset within your business, and you need some extra support to do that, I would love to send you more info on the Splash Marketing Collective. That is what we do inside of the Splash Marketing Collective. And we hold you accountable. We help you push forward through your fears. We give you a blueprint, a real plan as to how to show up as your personal brand in your business, so that you connect more on a human level with your ideal clients. You bring in more business. You show up and you're committed to your passion. So if you'd like more info on that, we are opening it up again at the before the new year. Okay, so you would actually be welcomed the first week of the new year, but you and I would get on an onboarding kickoff call together before the new year begins, and I have a few spots open to do that. So if you'd like more info, just drop the word SPLASH down below, and I'll send you more info via Messenger. We can even hop on a quick 15-minute chat to give you, more information about it that way, and if you have any questions. But if you're ready to really start off the year amazingly, with confidence in your business, with a real plan, so that you have success moving forward in your business, because we still don't really know what's going to happen next year. But here's what you do know, or I hope that you know, especially after listening to this, is that you have control over what it can look like for you, but we have to be proactive. So I'd love to welcome you and at least send you more info. All right, I will see you guys next week, and I look forward to having you jump in and say hello, and hope you're having a happy holidays. Bye.